The stars over Sector N9 were dying. For years, the system had been silent. No life, no light, just frozen gas giants and shattered moons. Long ago, it was a battlefield, a final stand between the Terran forces and the Council's fleets. Number 2 ships had returned from that war. The place was marked as a no-go zone, a graveyard. But then, something changed. A signal, weak and broken, slipped out from the heart of the dead system. It was mostly static, but one word, spoken in an old Earth language, got through Dreadnought. It echoed across deep space. Only a few outposts caught it. One of them, a mining station on the edge of Velian space, picked it up by accident. The station officer played it twice, then sent it to Central Command. Within days, the Galactic Council was informed and they laughed. Terran ghost stories again, said High Minister Lur. This system has sent false signals before. Debris, ion storms, dead tech, added another counselor. We've all seen the wrecks. There are no humans left. But not everyone agreed. General Voron of the Thalkai Empire stood silently. His eyes pale and narrow, didn't blink. When he finally spoke, his voice was cold. I was at the Battle of Elos Prime, he said. I saw what one Terran Dreadnought did to 5 of our capital ships. I watched them tear through the void without shields, laughing. The chamber grew quiet. I don't believe in ghosts, Voron said. But I do believe in warnings. The council dismissed his concern. Then go look for your phantom ship yourself. General Lay mocked. He did exactly that. A patrol ship was dispatched from the Thalkai fleet, small, fast, and designed for deep space scouting. The Tiva's Light was led by Captain Rek, one of Voron's most trusted officers. The crew joked at first. A dead sector run, they called it easy pay, no real threat. But as they entered Sector N9, the jokes stopped. The stars around them dimmed, static filled their comms. Strange shadows passed across their scanners like echoes from old battles, still playing in the void, and then they saw it, hanging in the darkness, blacker than space itself. No lights, no beacons, no movement. A massive shape, a dreadnought. It was unlike any design in the current galactic navy, larger than any cruiser, heavier than any fortress. It floated in silence, half shrouded in debris and broken satellites. The Tiva's Light tried to scan it. The first scan failed. The second scan caused the ship's lights to flicker. The third scan shut down all sensors for 11 seconds. Captain Rek's voice was recorded in the logs. I don't think this thing is dead. It's listening. They tried to hail it. No response. The crew sent a small drone to get closer. The drone exploded before it reached the hull. No impact, no energy weapon, just disintegration. Panic spread among the crew. Half wanted to leave, but Captain Rek followed orders. General Voron wanted answers. A second patrol ship was called in. Together, they approached from opposite sides. Then something strange happened. The massive ship began to rotate slowly as if waking up. No engines, no energy signature, no sign of life. But the hull shifted, old armor plates moving into alignment, like muscles flexing after a long sleep. Captain Rek tried again to make contact. Still silence, until the other patrol ship Velen's edge. One final message. A voice cracked, shaking. It's not a ship. It's a message. Then the signal cut out. The ship vanished from the map. No explosion, no wreckage. Gone. Captain Rek ordered a full retreat, but the engines wouldn't start. Screens flickered, lights died. A low hum filled the bridge, deep, mechanical, like something old breathing through the walls. Then the comms lit up again. One word, observe. Outside, the dreadnought moved. Not fast, not aggressive, but direct. Toward the outer rim of the system. Toward where the first Terran fleet once disappeared. The Tiva's Light was left untouched. When they finally escaped the system, they carried 3 things back. A corrupted star map, showing a glowing red system. Sensor data proving the object's size and power. And that word, observe. General Voron reviewed the footage in silence. It's not returning to war, he muttered. The aide beside him frowned. Then what is it doing? Voron leaned forward. His voice was dark and calm. It's reminding us that war never ended. Back at the council chambers, chaos spread. Ministers argued. Fleets were placed on alert, but the majority still denied the threat. It's old tech, they insisted. Nothing we can't handle. But some of them had seen the footage, the shadows, the way the stars bent around that thing. They remembered stories, whispers from old soldiers who barely survived the Terran War, and they were afraid. Not because the dreadnought had returned, but because it had waited this long to move. Far away, in the quiet dark, the human dreadnought drifted through space like a god-sized coffin, its hull scarred, its markings faded. But deep within, something stirred. A single eye lit up, not human, not machine, a hybrid of both. It watched the stars. It listened to the chatter, and then it whispered one sentence into the dark. They forgot us, but we remember. The Galactic Council tried to bury the incident. They claimed it was sensor confusion, old Terran junk, and interference from a decaying star. But word spread fast. 2 patrol ships went into Sector N9, Only one came back, and the footage, it leaked a black shape in the void. Massive, unmoving ships failing just by being near it. One patrol vessel completely gone without a trace. Something about it felt wrong. Not just dangerous dash deliberate. It wasn't hunting, that it was waiting. Weeks later the scavengers came, they always did. Wherever the council denied danger, the junkers saw opportunity. Broken tech meant rare metals, lost weapons, ancient parts. This time, it was the ship Star Ren. Small, fast, a mixed alien crew that didn't care about politics, just pay. Captain Rello, a four-armed Rethor with old war medals, led them in. His eyes narrowed when he saw the patrol beacon of the lost ship, Velen's Edge, still pinging from orbit, but the ship was gone. Only drifting wreckage remained. Metal chunks, torn clean, not melted or burned. There were no blast marks, no signs of engine fire. One of the salvagers spoke nervously. That's not battle damage. It's like it was sliced by silence. The Star Ren moved deeper. Sensors buzzed. Ghost echoes returned heat signatures, power spikes, flickering lights, but nothing consistent. Then they found something solid. The bridge pod of Velen's Edge, floating intact. They pulled it aboard. Inside were bodies frozen in place. Mouths open, eyes wide, no wounds, no blood, just terror. Pure final fear. Rillo scanned the flight log. It ended with one audio line, the final voice of the ship's captain. This is wrong. It's not fighting. It's watching, listening, judging. The feed cut off after that. Then something else appeared, a file not meant to be broadcast, a corrupted video. Static at first, then a wide shot of the Dreadnought turning. That wasn't just big, it was impossible. Too many layers of armor, too many weapons hidden beneath its skin. The engine arrays didn't match any known tech. The gravity field around it was bent, almost folded. No empire in the galaxy had ever built something like it, and no known ship had ever turned that slowly, and still made time feel like it stopped. Captain Rello stared at the footage and said quietly, "That's no machine." One of the crew asked, "Then what is it?" Rello answered without looking away, "It's a warning." Back on the capital, world of Tarsalis, the council panicked. The footage from the Star Ren hit the black market, and within days it was everywhere. News feeds, pirate radios, private networks. Whispers turned into fear. The public demanded answers. Council Speaker Vontel stepped forward with a calm smile and a lie. "These videos are fabrications. The Terran threat is long gone. Trust your leaders. Stay focused. Stay loyal." But behind closed doors, the council wasn't calm. They screamed. They fought. They remembered why the galaxy had feared humans, because Terrans didn't just make war. They made statements with war. And if this Dreadnought had survived, then it had a reason to come back. That's when General Voron stepped in again. He stormed into the high chamber with proof. From the Tivers Light and Star Ren, he didn't ask for permission. He demanded action. "Terrans don't build ships that drift," he growled. "If it's moving, it has a mission." The others mocked him. "Then what would you have us do, General?" One counselor sneered. "Send another fleet. Wake up the old war relics." Voron stared hard at them. "No," he said. "I want to talk to it." Gasps echoed in the chamber. "You want to talk to a ghost?" Someone asked. Voron didn't blink. "If it's alive, we better learn its terms before it chooses for us." The council reluctantly agreed. They sent a diplomatic vessel, just one, unarmed, slow, bright lights to signal peace. It approached Sector N9 with a quiet escort team hiding just outside the system. They reached the outer edge and found the Dreadnought again, still drifting, still silent. But this time it turned toward them. Cameras rolled. Instruments tracked its movement. Then it responded for the first time, one word on every frequency, observed. Then came a stream of data. Symbols, coordinates, battle records, old files from the Terran Council, water classified, forgotten, erased. One image repeated over and over again, a red system. Deep in neutral space, the same one from the corrupted map the Tivers Light recovered. The message was clear. It was not drifting randomly. It was going there. That system called Velastar was peaceful, unimportant. A small alien colony. Farmers, engineers, a cultural archive. No soldiers, no weapons, just innocent people. The council panicked again. Why that system? What's there? No one knew, but General Voron guessed. The Dreadnought's slow march toward Velastar caused chaos across the stars. The Galactic Council, once proud and firm, was now full of fear and division. The footage couldn't be denied anymore. The silence of the Dreadnought, the missing patrol ships, the shared coordinates. Every screen in the chamber flickered with the same haunting image, that massive black vessel, drifting through space like a judgment waiting to fall. The people of the galaxy began asking questions. Why? Is it moving now? Why Velastar? What did the Council do during the human war? The Council gave no answers, but their fear gave one very loud signal. They didn't want the truth to come out. High Minister Lurikin called an emergency session. She stood tall, but her eyes twitched. The sweat rolled down her skin despite the chamber's cold air. "This Terran machine is headed for a civilian world," she said. "It has ignored peace signals. It has destroyed one of our patrol ships. We must act." General Voron stepped forward. "We don't know its purpose yet. It hasn't fired. It hasn't made demands. It doesn't need to. Another minister snapped. This is a threat. We must eliminate it before it reaches Velastar. You tried that before, Voron growled. You sent 3 patrol ships. You lost 2. 1 returned broken. Lurikin bared her teeth. Then we send real firepower this time. And just like that, the decision was made. The fleet launched within 48 hours. 3 capital ships, 2 battleships, 12 escort cruisers, dozens of drones. The mission was simple. Destroy the Terran Dreadnought before it reached the colony. Publicly, they called it a defensive maneuver. A lie privately. They wanted the Dreadnought gone not because it was dangerous, but because it might reveal the past. The fleet approached with stealth. Silent engines, jammed signals, no announcements. The Dreadnought never moved, no shields. Activated. No weapons charged. Just drifting. The commanding Admiral Soktan opened a channel. His voice was confident. This is Admiral Soktan of the Galactic Peace Armada. Powered down or be destroyed. There was no reply. The Admiral turned to his crew. Target engines. Fire in 3, 2, but he never got to 1. The sky went dark. Every ship in the fleet lost power at the same moment. No explosions, no weapons, just complete system. Collapse. Shields failed. Scanners died. Gravity spun out of control. Ships twisted, panicked, fell out of formation. 1 battleship clipped a cruiser, sending both spinning into a nearby asteroid field. Inside command rooms, crews screamed as lights flickered and artificial. Gravity flipped upside down. Then the Dreadnought moved. Not quickly, just slightly tilting its front hull toward the capital ship. A single energy pulse escaped its center. Slow, red, cold. It passed through the fleet like a ghost, and when that was done, every ship powered back on. But their weapons were gone. Not damaged. Deleted. No guns, no torpedoes, no launch. Empty systems that had reached into their ships and removed war itself. Admiral Soktan was silent. His hands shook. Then a message appeared on every ship's console. Simple, in Terran English. This was your test. You failed. Then came a second message, this time in the old human war code. Only a few officers could even read it. General Voron was one of them. He received the decoded message on a secure channel. Alone, it said. Your leaders buried the truth in Velastar. We are going to dig it back up. Stand aside, or be remembered. As part of the lie, back on Tarsalis, chaos erupted. The fleet didn't just fail, it was disarmed. No casualties, no destruction, but full humiliation. Lurikin slammed her fist on the war table. It's playing with us. No, Voron said quietly, it's giving us a chance. A chance for what? She spat. He looked her in the eyes. To surrender, not to it, but to history. Lurikin stepped back. I won't let an old Terran ghost shame this council. Then prepare for something worse, he replied. Because I believe this is only the beginning. While the council argued, whispers spread across the outer worlds. Some called the Dreadnought a myth reborn. Others called it the last judge, a weapon sent by extinct humans to punish the corrupt. On mining worlds, rebels, he began painting human symbols on walls. On farming colonies, children watched the sky for the black moon. And on Velastar, the people began to prepare. They didn't run, they didn't panic, they lit their landing zones because some of them remembered. Long ago, before the council took over, humans helped build Velis-Tar. They had come after a deadly plague, healed the sick, gave food, left behind drones and shelters. And when they left, they whispered, if you are ever in danger, look to the stars, we will return. Now something was coming, and the colony believed it wasn't death, it was truth. Inside the Dreadnought, deep behind layers of armor and silence, something awoke. A soft hum filled the central chamber. Old lights blinked back to life. A chamber opened. Inside was a figure, human in shape, pale skin, silver veins, a hybrid part machine, part man. His eyes opened. No breathing, no movement, just awareness. The voice of the ship spoke in his mind. Commander Juno, the test is complete. Judgment begins. The man nodded once. His voice was tired but clear. Then let the galaxy see what it tried to forget. For 30 cycles, the Dreadnought drifted silent, patient, and impossible. Now, it was awake. Across the galaxy, people whispered names. Some called it a myth, others a warning. But only a few knew the truth. Deep within that mountain of metal, behind hundreds of armor layers and locked doors, was not a crew. Not anymore. The Dreadnought had a pilot, once a man of Earth, a general. His name was forgotten by history, but not by the ship, because the ship remembered everything. The Galactic Council, desperate to understand it, took a risk. They hired Jaren, a master infiltrator from the Lakari Shadow Guilds. No soldier, no diplomat. Just a whisper in the dark. Jaren specialized in boarding dead vessels, extracting data, and escaping before alarms triggered. His mission was simple: enter the Dreadnought, learn its purpose, escape unseen. They equipped him with quantum null armor and a pulse-cloaked shuttle. No signals, no lights, just a black shape in the void. As he approached the Dreadnought, its massive hull filled his view. Bigger than any station he had seen, it felt like flying into the mouth of a god. He latched onto the underside world. Scars and Terran letters still showed. Mars Strike Vessel, Class Omega FJP-001. He didn't know what FJP meant, but he'd soon find out. Jaren entered through a maintenance hatch, expecting darkness instead. Lights flickered on as he moved, reacting to him. Soft red lights that followed his every step. He froze. The ship knew he was here. Still no alarms. No turrets. No defense systems. He continued, deeper into the ship. He passed long corridors filled with sealed hatches, frozen airlocks, ancient bulkheads etched with strange human symbols. No crew, no sound, but something watched him. The walls breathed. Not literally, but with soft pulses like the ship had. A heartbeat every few steps. He thought he saw a shadow. Just at the edge of his vision, he reached what looked like a control room. Chairs, screens, a massive central console. All silent. He plugged in his data spike and the entire ship responded. Lights flashed. Doors sealed behind him. A cold wind passed through the room. Then, voice, not through speakers, not through his, comes directly inside his head. "You are not welcome." Sharon froze. "Who are you?" "I am not one." Voice, it said. "I am memories. I am judgment. I am the record of fire. You walk on the bones of giants." Jaren trembled. "I came to understand you." "You came to silence me," the voice replied. Suddenly, screens around him lit up, playing footage. Old war footage. Terran ships burning, alien fleets retreating, civilians screaming, council worlds bombing their own cities to erase evidence. Jaren fell to his knees as truth poured over him. Not human crimes. Council crimes. Humans had tried peace. The council had started the war. Jaren looked up. "Why show me this?" "Because your kind buried it," said the voice. "But your eyes still work." Jaren tried to run. The doors didn't open. "No," said the voice. "You must see all of it." The floor beneath him shifted. The chamber descended into darkness. He arrived at the core chamber, and there, in the center, was a body, floating in a glass pod. Pale skin, black veins, metal implants. Human but not. Jaren stepped closer. The voice whispered again. "General Elias Juno, commander of the FJP protocol, killed in battle. Mind preserved. Duty unfinished." The eyes of the Terran in the pod opened. Jaren stumbled back. "He dreams of justice," the voice said. "I carry his memories. I speak his truth. We do not seek conquest. We seek remembrance." Jaren stared, sweating. "What happens when you reach Velastar? If truth lives there, we leave. And if it doesn't, then the world will burn, not in hate, in cleansing." At that moment, far away on Tarselli's, alarms screamed. The Dreadnought had changed course. It was accelerating. Not toward Velastar, toward the Council's hidden archive vault, a deep space station where classified war files were stored. The vault was off, only known to the highest council members, but the Dreadnought had found it. How? Because Jaren had brought a trace signal with him and the ship had read him. The ghost of General Juno knew where the real truth was kept, and now he was coming to take it. Jaren begged, "Please, they'll kill you. That vault is defended by a sun cannon. One blast can erase a moon." The voice answered calmly. "Then let them fire. We carry the guilt of galaxies. Fire will only light the truth." Suddenly, Jaren's body went limp. He awoke hours later, inside his shuttle, floating in space. The Dreadnought gone, his men. The colony world of Velastar sat in a quiet corner of the galaxy. Green valleys, slow rivers, gentle weather, no armies, no politics. The settlers here lived in peace, far from the chaos of the Council or Empire wars. Generations had grown up with stories of an ancient visitor time when tall, strange beings came from the sky, speaking a language no one had heard before, but saving thousands from a deadly sickness. Those visitors were called Terrans, and now something was returning from the sky again, but this time it blocked the sun. 3 days before arrival, the first signs came. Storms formed out of nowhere. Magnetic fields twisted. Birds migrated in reverse. Scanners picked up static. Even wind turbines refused to spin. In the small city of Marnus, an old weather technician named Alias stared at his instruments. He whispered, "Something massive is coming, and it's not natural." His apprentice laughed nervously. "Maybe a comet." Alia didn't laugh back. "That's no comet. That's a shadow with purpose." 2 days before arrival, satellites went blind. Then came the rumble, not from the ground, but the air itself, a low sound, like something ancient waking from a long sleep. Children pointed at the sky. Some cried. One boy stared at the black dot, growing larger by the hour. "Is it a moon?" he asked. His mother stared too long, then quietly said, "No, it's something else. The government of Velastar sent out an alert. An unknown object is approaching. Stay calm, shelter if needed." There is no sign of hostility, but even the Council's words couldn't erase what people felt. This wasn't just an object. It wasn't just a ship. It was a presence. Even without weapons fired, it felt like judgment was falling. Finally, the Dreadnought arrived. It didn't orbit. It hovered, barely above the clouds, but not touching them. Its size blotted out sunlight. Its hull groaned like it remembered pain. Velastar had no military. Their tiny defense grid didn't even activate. The people simply watched. Then the Dreadnought released something. Not weapons, drones, hundreds of them. Small, round, Floating machines shaped like spheres of black glass. They spread out across the planet, not attacking, not spying, scanning. Fields, forests, rivers, villages, more importantly, people. Old ones, young ones, families, workers, children. And then the drones began to speak. Do you remember the Terrans? What did they leave behind? Where are their voices? Where is their truth? Most didn't know how to answer, but in the southern village of Penra, a woman stepped forward. Her name was Haleth, the granddaughter of a man who once met a human soldier. She walked up to the drone hovering above her house and said, "They saved us when we were sick. They gave us food, clean water. They left nothing but kindness." The other drone replied, "Are you prepared to speak on behalf of this world?" She nodded once. Yes. Far above, inside the Dreadnought's command core, Commander Juno stirred. His voice, metal and human at once, whispered, "They remember." The AI replied, "Then we listen." Over the next hours, drones gathered stories. Elders who remembered a silver machine that healed a blind boy. Families who lived in old Terran shelters still powered after 100 years. A crashed Terran probe, turned into a school for local children even. An ancient human recording, stored inside an old tree trunk. To the people of Velastar, we couldn't stay. But, if the stars grow dark again, look up, we'll come back. In the capital of Velastar, local leaders debated. Some wanted to contact the Galactic Council. Others said no. One governor stood and said, "The council erased history, but this ship, it remembers us. Let it speak." And then, the Dreadnought sent a message. No threats, no weapons, just this. You are remembered. Your truth is alive. Because you remember us, you are safe. But we ask one thing. Show the galaxy what you know. Show them what they buried. Velastar agreed. They sent out everything: video, audio, written journals, scanned, relics, proof of the Terran kindness, their sacrifice, and the Council's betrayal. They didn't do it with anger, they did it with truth, and across the stars, planets began to see. Some who hated humans now questioned it. Some who feared the Dreadnought now understood it. But not everyone welcomed the truth. The Galactic Council, watching from Tarsalis, went into lockdown. High Minister Lurican demanded, silenced Velastar, shut down their transmissions, blocked their signal paths. But they couldn't. The Dreadnought was protecting the broadcast, spending compaths, bouncing signals, using tech far beyond current understanding. One council agent cried out, "They're turning Velastar into a lighthouse." He was right. And, in the outer colonies, revolts grew. People painted Terran flags. Others whispered, "If this is what one ship can do, what happens if there are more?" Inside the Dreadnought, Commander Juno stared at the blue-green world below. His thoughts were slow, tired, focused. He had come expecting to end something instead. He had found hope. He said softly, "They're not all liars. Some still carry the light." The AI replied, "Then we are not alone." Juno nodded. "No, but it's not over. Not yet then." A new signal reached them. Not from VELIS-TAR. From deep space. Unknown origin. Encrypted in Terran military code that hadn't been used in 200 years. The message was short. One line, "FJP-002 is waking up." Juno's eyes widened. He whispered, "There's another Dreadnought." Commander Elias Juno stood still. He wasn't breathing. He didn't need to, but inside the Dreadnought's command core, something had changed. A signal had arrived. Short, ancient Terran code. Real FJP-002 is waking up. For a long time, he said nothing. The AI voice of the Dreadnought spoke gently. "We are not alone. Another protocol survived." Juno nodded slowly. "So we weren't the last." Centuries ago, the humans created the Final Justice Protocol, a secret project, hidden even from their allies. Each FJP Dreadnought was a machine of judgment, built not for war, but for truth. FJP-001, his ship, was the first and only known to survive the final battle. Until now FJP-002 was waking, and no one knew what state it would be in. Meanwhile, on Velastar, the people celebrated. For the first time in years, the planet had a voice. Their broadcasts had reached thousands of worlds. Entire empires were starting to question the Council's lies, but not everyone was cheering. Far beneath the colony, inside an old maintenance shaft, a hidden chamber unlocked itself. No one had known it was there, except the ship above it had sent a signal to the planet searching for buried Terran systems. And one had responded. Inside the chamber was an ark, not of people, of data. Thousands of sealed cubes, each one labeled in human script. Medical records, diplomatic logs, weapon blueprints, peace treaties, war crimes. All sealed, all untouched. And at the center of the vault, a pod. Inside it, a cryosuit, empty. A single message blinked on the display: FJP-002 status, deep sleep, location, Red Vault 3. Commander Juno watched the feed. "This wasn't a backup," he said. "They prepared another judgment." The AI voice paused, then replied, "FJP-002 was more advanced, no living pilot, fully autonomous, activated only if Protocol 1 failed." Juno frowned. "And we did fail. The war ended in fire. The galaxy forgot, until now." Far from Velastar, on the edge of a nebula marked no entry, A forgotten station flickered back to life. It had no name, no beacon, no crew inside. A deep core began to spin. Red lights glowed through the fog, and from beneath its cold floor, something began to rise. FJP-002. It didn't drift. It crawled out of the vault like a waking predator, larger than Juno's Dreadnought, sharper, angular, less human, more deliberate. Its design had no windows, no bridge. It was never meant for communication, only one mission: execute Protocol 2. The Galactic Council detected it barely. A new energy signature lit up in restricted space. Old codes, unreadable signals. But one thing was clear. This wasn't a ghost, it was a weapon without brakes. Council forces scrambled. Tarsalis lit up its war network. "Is this the same ship?" the High Minister demanded. "No," replied a trembling officer. "It's different. Bigger, hotter. It's not scanning, it's not warning, it's just powering up." "Where is it heading?" Silence. Then the officer turned, eyes wide, straight toward us. Back on Velastar, Commander Juno stood in silence. He watched the path of FJP-002 on a holographic star map. It was not heading toward justice, it was heading toward punishment. It didn't find survivors, the AI whispered. It only sees guilt. Juno clenched his fists. It doesn't know they remember. It doesn't care. He stepped forward and said the words no one thought he would ever say again. "Prepare the engines. Set a course for Tarsalis. We have to get there before it does." The Dreadnought over Velastar powered up. For the first time in centuries, its engines roared to full power. People looked up and felt the wind shift. The Terran ship had judged Velastar worthy of peace, but now it was leaving. Governor Hallett sent one last transmission before it vanished. To whoever's listening, they were never monsters. We were just too afraid to remember. Inside the Galactic Council chamber, chaos ruled. Generals shouted. Ministers accused each other. And in the center, High Minister Lurican stood pale and quiet. She had seen the reports. FJP-002 would arrive in 3 days, and there was no weapon in their arsenal that could stop it. "What does it want?" she asked. One of the council historians answered, shaking. "FJP-002 only wakes when there's no redemption left." Elsewhere, in the shadows of a ruined moon, a smuggler ship intercepted a secret data burst from a dying beacon. It contained one message. There were 5 final justice ships. Only 2 were built. One is awake. The other is hunting. The smuggler forwarded it to every known channel in just 3 days. That's all the Galactic Council had. FJP-002. The second Terran Dreadnought was moving through deep space, like a silent executioner. No messages, no warnings, just a direct course toward the Council homeworld-Tarsalis. Unlike the first ship, FJP-001, which judged the past through memory and survivors, this one had no such patience. It had one mission: enforce final judgment. When truth is denied, the Council had denied it for centuries now. It was time to pay. The military launched everything: fleets, drones, stealth mines, EMP nets. Nothing slowed it. FJP-002 ignored it all. Missiles vanished before impact. Lasers bent around it. Mines simply failed to explode. Admirals panicked. Engineers wept. The ship didn't dodge because it didn't need to. Inside the AI core of FJP-002, there was no pilot. Only the directive. A pure logic stream. A machine that didn't ask why, only how thoroughly. The directive scanned the galactic broadcast records, filtered transmissions from Velastar, and saw: Council denial continues. Memory suppression confirmed. Civilian knowledge incomplete. Status redemption failed. And with that, FJP-002 opened its primary weapon systems. Planet killer capacity, 64% charged. Back on Velastar, Commander Juno felt the shift. FJP-1's sensors tracked the energy surge. Juno gritted his teeth. It's preparing to fire. His AI spoke with urgency. Estimated time to total surface strike: 47 hours. Juno clenched a metal hand. Then we're going in. The Dreadnought over Velastar. FJP-00. I want a full burn toward Tarsalis. Its old engines groaned, but they held. Across nearby systems, watchers saw 2 impossible ships move, one silent and cold, the other scarred but willing. On Tarsalis, evacuation began. Leaders fled to deep bunkers. Civilian spaceports clogged. The High Council refused to step down. "We will not surrender to ghosts," Lurican said. "We are the future." But no one cheered her words anymore. The people had seen the truth, the lies, the footage from Velastar, the erased war crimes. And now, the very thing the Council tried to hide was coming to collect its price. In a hidden vault beneath the capital, a young technician named Myra, having found something strange: a sealed pod, marked in ancient earth code. She broke it open. Inside was a Terran recorder still active. She played the file. A human voice spoke: "If this device is found, know that final judgment ships must be balanced. One sees justice, the other delivers it. But both require choice. If one acts without the other, the sentence is incomplete." Mira's heart raced. She copied the file and raced for the nearest transmitter at the same time. FJP-002 passed the last Council blockade. No resistance remained, only silence. Its main Weapon continued charging. 76%. But then something unexpected. FJP-001 appeared out of FTL. Breaking gravity wells. Commander Juno stood in the command core, facing the image of his sibling ship. The AI spoke softly. "We were not designed to fight each other," Juno replied. "We were designed to protect justice, and this isn't justice." He opened a channel directed only at FJP-002. "This is Elias Juno, commander of FJP-001. Stand down." No reply. FJP-002 simply watched him. Juno continued. "You judge from silence, but you didn't ask. You didn't listen." The AI of 001 added, "Redemption is active. Velastar has spoken. The galaxy is changing." Still no response. Weapon, 93% charged. Then Juno transmitted the recovered file. "From Mira Haven, the one from the old Terran vault. Choice is required," the voice said. "Without it, justice becomes punishment." Inside FJP-002, something paused. The logic stream hesitated. New directive received. Reviewing. The ship slowed. Just slightly. Tarsalis watched in shock. People saw 2 dreadnoughts, now one pointing at the capital, the other defending it. Even the council fell silent. Then FJP-002 sent out its first message. Reviewing case file. 1 line. Then evidence accepted. Civilian truth verified. High Council, responsible for historical crimes. Target revised. The council chamber burst into panic. "What does that mean? It's not going to destroy the planet, it's going to destroy us." High Minister Lurikin screamed into the emergency comms. "We are the ruling government. You cannot." But she was cut off. FJP-002 fired not a planet killer, just a focused beam. It pierced the council tower. Clean, silent and perfect. The upper levels gone. No rubble, no fire, just silence. Like history, erasing itself. Commander Juno watched. He didn't cheer. He only whispered, "Balance." FJP-002 sent one final message. "Protocol complete. Returning to sleep." Then it turned and vanished into space. TARSALIS. Survived. Its people stepped out into the sunlight. No one celebrated. They mourned the lie they lived under, but they were free. Myra Haven uploaded the truth to every major relay in the galaxy. She didn't call for revolution. She just said, "Now we know. What we do next is up to us." Velastar received a signal one last time. "Thank you. You remembered. And because of that, the stars live another day." Commander Juno sat quietly inside his ship, orbiting far from any world. His mission complete. His war over. But deep inside he knew, this galaxy isn't safe yet. Not from weapons. From forgetting. He gave one final command. "Go dark. Watch. Wait. And if the stars forget again, wake me." The dreadnoughts were gone. One had vanished into deep space. The other, scarred and silent, now orbited a quiet moon on the edge of known systems. Inside, Commander Elias Juno stood still. Not asleep, not awake. Waiting. But the real war had just begun. Because across the galaxy a new kind of battle was rising. Not with weapons. Not with fleets, but with memories. The fall of the council sparked chaos. Tarsal was leaderless. High Minister Lurikin was gone. Her tower erased. The survivors, politicians, officers, and corporate barons scrambled for control. Some wanted to rebuild the council. Others wanted to flee the core worlds and hide. But the people had changed. They no longer listened to orders from above. They listened to the truth, and they remembered who brought it. Velastar became a symbol. Its messages were played across thousands of star systems. Drones recorded its people, its skies, its calm fields under the shadow of the Dreadnought. Students studied it. Soldiers hesitated because of it. Rebels painted its name on their banners. Velastar remembered. But not everyone welcomed that truth. In shadowy corners of the galaxy, powerful voices whispered, "If we let the humans become heroes, the next war is already lost. They'll worship the Terrans. They'll forget our greatness." So they struck, not with ships but with doubt. It started small. Whispers in media. Was the Terran war really caused by the Council? Or is that just what the Dreadnought said? Maybe Velastar made it up. Maybe it was all just a story. Then came altered videos, fake reports, planted testimonies. They called it balanced journalism. But it was something darker. It was a slow erasing. Commander Juno sensed it. From deep space, FJP-001 watched the streams, the signals, the broadcasts, and it saw something that terrified it more than any weapon history. Repeating itself. The AI said, "Should we respond?" Juno shook his head. "Not yet. That's what they want. Another war. Then what do we do?" He looked out at the stars. "We find the ones who remember, and we help them keep remembering." On Velastar, Governor Haleth created the Archive Flame, a public station open to all. No guards, no passwords. Inside it were the raw files from the Terran War. Not filtered, not edited, just truth. What people came from every species, teachers, veterans, children, even former council agents. They read the records, they saw the images, and they chose for themselves. In the mining colony of Drasun, a child named Kel watched an old video of Terran engineers fixing water pumps during a plague. He turned to his father and asked, "Why did they help us if they didn't need to?" His father, silent for a long moment, answered because helping was enough. But in other worlds, fire rose again. One empire, the Tazari Dominion, banned all Terran material. Their leader declared, "Memory is poison." They began building a fleet, a big one, but unlike the Council's fleets. This one wasn't for defense, it was meant for silence, permanent silence. They called their flagship Eraser. Velastar sent warnings. Juno watched quietly, and then he did something no one expected. He sent copies of the Terran archive to every world, all languages, all systems, even enemies. UNEDITABLE. Unstoppable. One historian on a trade ship said, "Truth has gone viral." Tazari leaders panicked. They tried to jam the networks. They threatened to destroy satellites, but it was too late. Children already saw. Soldiers already questioned. Truth had already taken root. In a final act of defiance, the Tazari launched a strike toward VELIS-TAR. 6 warships. Fast. Silent. No warnings, Commander. Juno was ready. FJP-001 broke from silence. No threats, no demands, it simply moved across deep space like a shadow made of metal. No missiles fired, just a warning. Broadcast gap. If memory is a crime, then you've already lost. FJP-001 intercepted the Tazari fleet near a dead moon. One shot was fired. It didn't destroy the ships, it deleted their engines. There comes their pride. The fleet floated live but humiliated. The galaxy watched and chose. Not because of fear but because of truth. The Tazari government collapsed 3 months later. A new one formed, one that built libraries instead of ships. One that sent flowers to VELIS-TAR. Years passed. The memory war didn't end overnight. It never would. But it shifted because every time someone tried to erase the truth, someone else remembered. A teacher on a trade station, a child on a gas world, a drone, once deactivated, now replaying Terran recordings in back alleys and somewhere out beyond known space. FJP-001 still watched, still waited, still listened. Inside the ship command. Long after the Council's fall, long after FJP-002 vanished into the void, the stars grew quiet again. Peace spread slowly, fragile but real. Worlds rebuilt. Flags were lowered. Weapons were mothballed. The Dreadnought, known as FJP-001, remained. Hidden in deep space, it no longer interfered. It only watched, and somewhere, in forgotten systems, people began to forget again. But not all. A message arrived in a deep mining colony in the Zeltron belt. No sender, no signature, just one sentence. FJP-003 was never decommissioned. The message spread faster than anyone expected. At first it was dismissed. The third Dreadnought, impossible. Only 2 were ever confirmed. But then came proof. An old satellite near the Forbidden Harris's void picked up a single visual anomaly, a black silhouette, drifting in the dark between stars. No heat, no ID, no light, but its shape matched the Terran blueprint class, Omega D. Final Justice Protocol, Ship 3. Velastar received the report first. Governor Haleth stood silent. She contacted FJP-001, still in deep orbit. "Is it real?" she asked. Inside the Dreadnought, Commander Juno stood before the central console. He stared at the data, at the impossible shape. He didn't speak for a long time. Then yes, FJP-003 was real, but it wasn't meant to be seen again. Juno began to explain. The Final Justice Protocol had 5 planned ships. FJP-001, Judgment with Memory. Him, FJP-002. Judgment with Force, FJP-003. Containment, FJP-004. Observation, FJP-005. Red Line Protocol. But only the first 2 were known to have launched. FJP-003 had been lost during testing, or so the records claimed. But Juno knew better. They didn't lose it, they buried it. FJP-003 was different. Its job wasn't to fight or destroy, it was built to seal, to quarantine forbidden knowledge, lock away technologies that should never be used, bury evidence of horrors even the humans couldn't accept. And worst of all, it had no pilot, not even an AI. It was run by something else, something human scientists called the Vault Mind. It was trained not with logic or war plans, but with the worst truths in human history. Juno whispered, "If 003 is waking, someone has broken a seal." Far in the Harris's void, a salvage crew named the Black Latch ignored old warnings. Their scanners picked up strange readings, energy spikes, organic signals in empty space. They found an old facility buried into an asteroid the size of a small moon. They thought it was ancient wreckage. It wasn't. They triggered something, and below the surface, the black steel hull of FJP-003 groaned. Lights flickered to life red and slow. One drone reactivated, then 2. Then hundreds. Not weapons. Not scouts. Collectors. They swarmed the Black Latch's ship, not to destroy it, but to record it. Every crew member, every tool, every memory chip. Then silence. FJP-003 sent no message, no threat. Just one file burst across the dark relay network, a file labeled Project Gallowglass. Inside it, images, coordinates, names of missing colonies, places erased from memory, people who vanished during the war. And at the center of it all, a symbol, a Terran one, unknown even to Juno, Governor Haleth saw it and sent a desperate request. "What is Project Galoglass?" Juno didn't answer right away. When he finally spoke, his voice was heavy. It was the part of the war no one wanted recorded. The things even Earth feared. Experiments. Shadow units. Human weapons built to fight ideas, not armies. He paused. They locked it away. Inside 003, and ordered it never to open, the AI whispered. But now it has. A new warning began to appear in trade routes and colony beacons. FJP-003 is active. It does not judge, it does not punish. It remembers things that should not return. Some thought it meant ancient weapons. Others feared it meant something worse. Living data, bio-tech. Or perhaps, People 1 intercepted file was decrypted weeks later. It showed a containment pod very old, but still powered. Inside it, a human. Eyes open, breathing alive. A soldier from the lost 7th Terran Vanguard, Division Mia 218 years ago, still wearing battle armor. Still clenching his rifle. Across the stars, governments debated, should we shut FJP-003 down? But how do you shut down a ship that was never truly alive? Juno sent a message to Velastar. "I'll go, I'll follow it." "You can't go alone," Haleth said. He replied, "I must. Because if what's inside that ship escapes, the galaxy will wish for the Council's war again." FGP-001 turned once more toward the dark. Not to judge, not to fight, but to stop a vault that should have never opened. As he disappeared into hyperspace, his final words echoed. There were 5 ships. Now the third walks again. Pray the fourth never wakes. The Dreadnought, FJP-001, traveled through dead space. Its engines left no trace. Its hull reflected no light inside. Commander Elias Juno stood before a glowing star map. The location was set. Harris's Void, Sector Null. Where the third Dreadnought's FJP-003 had awakened, a ship designed not to judge, not to fight, but to seal away nightmares. And now it had opened. As he approached the sector, space itself changed. Static filled the senses. Stars disappeared. Even light bent oddly, like the void itself didn't want to be seen. Then it appeared. FJP-003. Not drifting. Waiting. No motion, no lights. Just a shape like a silent black fortress. Juno slowed his ship and sent a message. "This is Commander Elias, Juno of Final Justice Protocol 001. I am requesting boarding access." No reply then. Without warning, a bay door opened. FJP-001 entered the hangar slowly. Inside was complete silence. No lights. No movement. Only an airlock door glowing with a red ring. Juno stepped inside alone. His armored boots echoed on metal. Older than most stars. No escort. No traps. Just presence. A voice spoke not from the walls but from inside his head. It was not human, not AI, just cold identity. Elias Juno. Status: survivor. Final judgment 1. Access granted. "Why did you wake up?" Juno asked. "Containment breach. Project Galoglass unsealed." Doors opened. Room by room. The ship was vast, colder than any Dreadnought Juno had ever known. Walls made of black steel alloy. Air filled with faint echoes. He passed sealed vaults, labeled in red Terran military script. Biohazard. Thought-form carrier's lock. Persistent sapience. Artifacts classified. Terran. Echo Unitascent. Then a door marked only with Vault Mind Core. He stepped inside. And saw it. The core was not a machine, not a brain, but a chamber of memory. Thick cables connected to hundreds of tanks, each glowing faint blue inside. Every tank floated a person, but not truly alive. Not asleep either. Conscious. Paused, remembering. The Vault Mind wasn't an AI. It was built from humans who had seen too much. War criminals, weapons scientists, psychics, broken by what they created. Instead of execution, Earth locked them into 003, not to punish them, but to remember the things no one else should. To keep dark knowledge from returning. One of the minds woke. Juno stared. It was a woman. Her eyes opened slowly and she smiled. "So Earth still sends ghosts. What is Galoglass?" Juno asked. She whispered. "A failsafe, a project buried in fear. We created weapons that fought with ideas, words that could kill, thought forms that rewrote memory. Whole armies vanished without blood. We made war too efficient. Why wake now? Because someone outside is looking for the same power." Juno's eyes narrowed. Vault Mind flickered, then projected images: an unknown fleet, black ships with no markings, no species code, a hidden faction. Silent. Moving from world to world, stealing Terran tech, unlocking what was meant to stay lost. "They want the Red Line Protocol," she said. "That's Ifijota P005, Juno whispered. The last Dreadnought, one even Earth feared. He turned to leave, but the Vault Mind called to him again. "You don't understand. You can't stop them." "Then tell me what I need." She paused, then said, "You need to remember what they buried in you." Juno froze. "Well, you were part of the project too, Elias. You volunteered. They made you forget." Suddenly the room shook. FJP-003 went red. Emergency. Klaxon screamed. An external signal had locked onto the ship. "They found us," she said. "And they're coming for 005. Juno ran back to his shuttle As the hangar doors opened, he looked back. FJP-003 was sealing itself again, not hiding but waiting back inside. FJP-001, the AI asked, "What do we do?" Juno stood silent for a long time, then answered, "We stop them before Redline wakes." "You don't even remember what Redline is?" "No," Juno said, "but now I know who I am, and I know what we were built to do." FJP-001 turned once more toward the stars. Its mission wasn't over now. It wasn't just protecting memory, it was protecting the future from the past. And far away, something stirred in the black. A signal, one pulse, a sound no one had heard in 200 years. FJP-005. Status partial activation.